Hi, I'm Justin M. Flint, attorney and realtor, and welcome to the first of my informational videos. Today we're going to talk about types of deeds in Texas. This is something that I get a lot of client calls about as an attorney, and something that I think the general public has a good amount of confusion about, particularly because there are a number of entities out there, banks in particular, that don't give the best advice when they tell people what kind of a deed they need in certain situations. So there are three types of deeds primarily that we use in Texas: the general warranty deed, the special warranty deed, and the quitclaim deed. So let's talk about each of those in turn. The general warranty deed is a deed that warrants or guarantees the broadest amount of protection to the buyer possible. What it essentially says is, I am guaranteeing to you that I have good and proper title to this property, that I'm the sole owner, nobody else can make a claim to this property, and if they did, I would be required to defend you in asserting your own claim to the property. That's what we normally see when we buy or sell residential real estate in Texas. When you buy your house or sell your house, you give or get a general warranty deed, and that's the reason you get title insurance. That title insurance is going to protect you and pay for your fees if you have a litigation or somebody else makes a claim to your property. We see special warranty deeds more often in the commercial side of things, when one business is selling real property to another. And what the special warranty deed says, essentially, is I'm guaranteeing that the title to the property is good in my chain of title, that I received the title to the property in a good, unbroken, unchallenged chain. Now, that said, I'm not guaranteeing that there aren't other people with competing chains of title out there of which I'm not aware. And if there are, then that's your problem, and I'm not going to deal with that. But if it comes, if there's a claim from somebody who's in my chain of title saying that they didn't really sell the property to me, or they sold it to somebody else, or something like that, then I'm required to defend you, just like I would be under a general warranty deed. So the protection you get is a little bit more confined with a special warranty deed. You would still normally have title insurance on that property, but most businesses want to control tightly what their liabilities are. That's not something that's typically done in residential real estate, so that's why we see that in commercial transactions more often than residential transactions. Now, the last type of deed, the quitclaim deed, is something very different than the other two. What a quitclaim deed really says is, I'm not saying I own this property or have any real title or claim to it, but if I do, anything that I do have, I'm going to sell and transfer to you. That's a very tenuous thing to get. There's no guarantee that you're getting anything by paying money and getting a quitclaim deed. Nevertheless, it's my experience that banks and a number of other organizations tell you that that's what you need in a lot of situations. Just do a quitclaim deed. I don't think that's true because it creates some issues for you. It creates immediate suspicion about your chain of title. Now, a good title opinion and title search can clear that up relatively easily and establish whether there is good title that's been transferred to you by that quitclaim deed. But most title insurers are going to look at that deed suspiciously, and they may be very reluctant to insure that property down the line if there's really any question about how good your title is to transfer to somebody else. And that's the reason we typically do not recommend quitclaim deeds, except for very specific circumstances. And obviously, if you're the seller, you would be more interested in getting that kind of a deed than if you're the buyer, where you would not want to accept that kind of vague and really unenforceable promise as to the actual claim to the property, unless it's against the person that's selling the property to you. So we recommend, under most circumstances, general warranty deed with the use of title insurance if that's appropriate, and it usually is, or a special warranty deed if there are other concerns about how strong your title is. And a quitclaim deed is really an instrument of last resort. If you've got any of this, please feel free to give me a call. I'm happy to talk to you about it, answer any specifics, or give you more details about these types of deeds and when the use of each is appropriate. Thanks.